love is really simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like love is so easy, but we make it
But just
so
know,
hard.
I'm him. It's really that
serve a
simple.
purpose, bro. Like we here to do what our creator made us to do.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to another episode of Never If Always Win. And this episode right here is gonna be the most transparent episode I probably ever do. Right, so I'm really gonna go into detail about something that I really dealt with myself. Right, and I feel like the better way to connect, will be really to talk about myself and like I know a lot of people, especially young men, they can relate to as well. Maybe even if they don't think they can. I know a lot of y'all can, right? But before I get started, I really want to say this because I don't want people to get the impression that because I talk about something or I condemn something or I go against something, that I'm attacking the people who do these things, right? Because 90 to 95% of things I talk about on here, I also struggle with as well. I go through as well, which is why I say we a lot. I don't think I've ever said y'all on here, right? I say we all the time. We need to do this better. We need to pay attention to this. So I don't ever want you to watch this and think just because I say something that you may do or go against something that you like to do. Don't think I'm attacking you at all, right? I'm just acknowledging that it's a problem because at one point I didn't think a lot of things that I was doing wasn't a problem. I thought it was cool. I thought it was okay. I didn't see an issue with it, but I do now, right? That's why I'm so passionate about it, and that's why I've been consistent with what I'm doing because I truly feel this is my purpose, right? It's to help myself by growing and becoming a better man, and then putting my knowledge out here on, for my to my base and to my people who watch me, right? Because I know it's people that need to hear it, and it's people that I feel like I can connect to with my access of information and giving that to y'all, right? That's all it is. So don't ever watch an episode of my podcast and think that I'm going against you when I'm trying to help you, right? I'm trying to help. That is the only purpose of my podcast. It ain't never to attack nobody, make nobody feel bad, to demean you, never. I'm not in that for that. It's not my heart. And if you truly know me, you know that's not my heart. And I really had to get that off my chest, especially because I won't say the reason, but I really needed that to be out there, right? So, like I said, this is my most transparent episode yet, and I'm gonna really get into it, and we're gonna talk about this hypersexualization culture that we're living in now, that with young people, right? We so hypersexualized, right? All we think about and talk about is sex, sex, sex. And it's not just young men; it's even young women now, right? And I also used to be a victim of that, right? Because when I was growing up, I was a little chubby kid. I wasn't really getting attention from women at all. So, and then I got introduced to pornography at a relatively young age, around 11 to 12, and I was consuming that at a rate I shouldn't have been consuming it. I shouldn't have been watching it at all, but maybe I was watching a little too much, right? To store my brain as to what a relationship or with a woman or dealing with a female actually meant. All I'm thinking about is the sexual part of it. That's all I'm getting introduced to in my brain. I'm not really having conversations about emotional maturity, emotional intelligence. All I'm thinking about is sex, sex, sex. And I know a lot of other young people struggle with that as well. We also were introduced to it at a young age. And that's the way we look at it now, right? We look at women as objects instead of human beings. And it just ain't the way to go about it now. And the more I think about it and really get into it, research it, and I look at myself in the mirror, I'm sort of embarrassed. I wouldn't say embarrassed. I was young, I didn't know any better, but it made me feel some type of way that I didn't know better, and I was doing these type of things. I was, like I said, treat women as objects, right? And you know what? I'm gonna say because I'm gonna speak about my experience and everything. I don't want to tag in other people on this. I'm gonna really say but I know for a fact. I be around. I listen to conversations that men have, and I know how we talk, right? And I know how I used to talk, and it bothers me now because I had to look myself in the mirror like, hey, bro, you was wrong, so wrong about so much, right? But back to my point, what I was saying, how pornography distorted my brain when I finally did, start dealing with women after after I graduated high school, lost a little weight, started feeling myself a little bit. My only objective was literally to sleep with the majority of the women I was dealing with. Pretty well, that's to be 100. I'm gonna be honest. In the beginning, like when I'm approaching or texting a woman, that's the number one. That used to be the number one thing in my mind. I'm trying to sleep with her, right? And that's a lot of us, right? We think we're the man when we sleep with this amount of women. Oh, we hit her. Oh, I hit her. You think you're the man by doing that, not knowing you losing yourself during the process, because sex is that's energy, right? You exchanging energy with so many different women. You got all these different spirits, unclean spirits at that inside of you, inside of your body. Spiritually, you just won't be right at all, regardless of how good you take care of yourself or any of that. You just won't be right. And I don't think we really tap into that because I really want us to understand everything really is that deep. From not just this, everything. Everything you consume and you do spiritually every single day, internally, it's that deep. It really matters. It truly matters to your body. And I didn't know that. I think, like I said, I was I grew up chubby, insecure. So when I started feeling myself, getting into dealing with women, they actually started liking me. I was felt like I was on top of the world. I was just and doing stuff, going places I know I shouldn't have been. I was going places thinking with my other head that I wouldn't go with a gun, just ignorant, right? Because all you thinking about that type of, and it was in that type of focus when you in that mode, you driven off lust, that type of focus you have to get to that. If we had that kind of focus and pushed it towards someone else, oh my God. And y'all know what I'm talking about, especially young men, you know what I'm talking about. If you really honest with yourself, you know what you talk, I would know what I'm talking about. But I really had to look myself in the mirror and say, bro, you was moving so foul, so many different ways, right? And it's like we was doing this. I didn't really realize I wasn't treating women as human beings. I was treating women as objects. I was looking at this. How can I do this and this only? That's all I was thinking about, right? Of course, it was some that I actually started liking and catching feelings toward, but that was my intentions. And when I really looked at myself and looked in the mirror, I'm like, bro, that's who are you, dog? Because I think of myself as a decent, good person. But when I talk about that, when I thought about that, it made me feel all kind of ways, truly embarrassed. But now that I'm growing and I'm learning, I realize it ain't right, dog. And I know a lot of other people, especially young men, who do the same thing. It's not right at all to look at women as objects, to say, oh, I got this many girls. It ain't doing nothing for you, and you think you're the man when you're doing all this when you really not. Because and we also had this stigma that if a man you sleep with multiple women or you do all this, it ain't the same as as a woman who's sleeping with most men. But it's the exact same. It's the exact same. You got all these unclean spirits running through you just like she do. You a hoe just like she is, if that's what y'all want to call it. But you don't look at it that way. It's like, because of course, but it's cultural, right? And it's not just us, not just black people. It's all kind of people, who got this stigma that a man who can sleep with multiple women, he's that guy, but really inside he's dead. I was dead inside. I didn't have no kind of relationship with God. I was dead inside. I was literally living nothing but my flesh. I didn't have any kind of spiritual being or any kind of spirituality inside of me. I was just living in my flesh. And I never talked about this, and I never never put it out there that I was really doing these things and going through these things. And that should have told me right there that it was wrong. That I wouldn't say I was in well to the people I'm close to and the people I love, right? I've never put this out here. They don't know about this at all. And as I say, I don't really know if I'm gonna post this. But God will let me know if I need to post it. He'll put it on my heart that if I need to let this out or not. But I'm really talking about it because I know a lot of us struggle with it as well. And it's not, like I said, it's not just young men now, it's young women too. We so hypersexualized that it destroys everything, right? I think that's why a lot of our relationships don't work out right now, because we going into things with the wrong intentions. Not going to learn this person. It's just my potential wife. It's something I see in the future, or am I just trying to sleep with them and get my rocks off and fuel my flesh and make my flesh happy? And that's what it leads to. But even with that, if you don't know no better, you'll continue to do it. you'll continue to think you're the man if you sleep with all these women, and 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 you'll, like I said, you'll be dead inside. You'll be the man on the outside, but dead inside. So that's why I'm putting this out here. I'm putting myself in this bad light to help somebody else. And it's like I said, this don't feel good, but I know it's necessary to talk about something I struggle and be transparent about, because I know a lot of people have as well. I'm not the only one. I might just be the only one bold enough to say it about myself, but I know I'm not the only one at all. But as I've been growing, I've been getting away from it and gaining sexual discipline. I realized like 90 to 95% of the women that I dealt with weren't worth my time at all. And I honestly felt like I've settled with every woman that I've dealt with because I was simply thinking of one thing. I'm thinking with one head and not the other. And I'm putting myself in situations that if I was thinking with the other head, I just wouldn't have been in at all. I would have probably dealt with better females. I would have been in better relationships. But instead, I'm moving all the wrong way, and that's how I'm getting caught up with all these different kind of women. And it was a reality check. It really was. When I really looked at myself in the mirror, said, "Hey," it was like I had to tell you, "Hey, bro, you tripping." It was a real reality check. I'm like I said, I was sort of embarrassed, but it was so necessary, and I'm so glad I did, because now I'm so much better because of it. Right? I don't I don't look at women as objects no more. I look at them for what they are, human beings, great human beings. And when you actually get to know women and get to just what they and get to know and learn what they offer besides what's in between their legs, it's a beautiful thing. But like I said, if we so hypersexualized and caught up in that, we only really tap into that, and tap into emotions or mannerisms or personalities. We just all we want to do is we think with that one head, how I'm gonna get this. Like I said, I know because I've been there. I did that. It's embarrassing as it is to say now, I did that. That was me at one point. And I know that may be you if you're watching. And I want you to truly understand that once you do that, and once you get to that point where you break away from that lust and start gaining sexual discipline, everything just gets better. Even if you got to be single for a while, I promise you stop. Like I said, texting women you don't need to be texting, being in certain environments, but you become a better man all overall. If you notice, once you gain sexual discipline, you gain discipline in all other areas too, right? Because if you got a lack of sexual discipline, you won't be disciplined in nothing else. I found it to be true. I usually one. I used to say that a lot of things I said I wasn't gonna do, said I was gonna do, I didn't really do. But when it came to that, I was on it. I was on it. Yes, I was. But I know now, right? I know now, and like I said, as I've gained that discipline, I've gained discipline in all other areas. I started going to the gym. I started working out. I started eating better. I started paying attention to what I consume. All that started in the beginning with, like I said, gaining sexual discipline, being aware of myself when I knew I was doing wrong, knew I was getting into something with the wrong intentions. I tapped into that, and now I've been doing a lot better ever since. And and let me say this: don't think I'm all the way over it either. Of course, I was doing this for majority. I won't say majority, but for them few years after I graduated high school, that's what I was doing. So I'm still winning and breaking off with it, but I'm trying though. I'm doing a lot better with it, right? A lot better. And that's what I really want. And I really want that to be honed in. When I say, like I said before, when I say or go against something, don't think I got it all together, because I don't, man. I'm flawed in so many different ways. And that's really why I come out and say what I say, because I know that I'm flawed in so many different ways. But I'm trying to be better, right? I'm just trying. That's the only difference between me and a lot of other people. I'm trying. And I'm learning that a lot of these things are wrong. As I've grown, as my relationship with God has truly grown, I'm learning so many different things that I was doing. Even with believing in God, I wasn't tapping into these things. I was thinking, I was thinking, I was like, I'm gonna be all right. I'm young. I use that excuse to I'm young, and this is what I'm doing. I can have fun. I'm young, but it's really not that way, because it's like I said before, it's really that deep. When we doing these things, we don't really know the damage we're doing to ourselves by doing it, but it really is that deep all the time. I just want us to be mindful, right? Especially this hypersexual sexualization. I want us to be mindful of when we move and how we move, right? Our attentions with people. Don't just go out here try to sleep with everything. Don't text women strictly on the purpose of sleeping with her. And young women don't do that the same thing to men. Don't go out there looking strictly for sex. Learn people. Learn to get to know people. Heal people. And I really want us to understand that relationships are more important than anything. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about platonic relationships too. You hear people say all the time, it's not what you know, it's who you know. That is very true. So I say I try to talk to people all the time now. Like even if it's not with nothing, with no gain, just knowing this person. You never know how this person can help you with nothing. But if you go into the intentions of sleeping with them and you play with people's feelings, and then it end bad, you burn that bridge for no reason. Just like I said, thinking with the wrong head. And it's so detrimental to your health. It's so detrimental to everything. Your mind, it clouds your judgment, all that kind of stuff. Because all you think about is getting your rocks off and living in your flesh. But once you start trying to live in the spirit, because we're spiritual beings, our flesh, like I said, my grandma say all the time, our war isn't against flesh and blood, it's against spirits. We fight against something much deeper than this skin, man. It's much deeper. Your eternal life is much deeper than that. So it really is that deep. So pay attention to all these things. And I'm putting myself out here in this light because I wanted to be more transparent about it. And I wanted people to understand that I'm not perfect at all. Nowhere near it. I'm just a growing young man. I'm 22 years old. I ain't got nothing all together, but I'm trying. That's all it is. That's the only difference. I'm trying. And when I'm putting stuff out here on my podcast, I'm struggling with a lot of these things as well. And I really want people to understand it. That's it. But I'm growing. I'm putting this out here and I'm letting it be known that I know that a lot of the ways I'm moving were wrong. And I'm acknowledging and I'm putting out here for other people to grow with me as well. I want y'all to grow with me on this journey. This is gonna be a long journey. I know it is, because I'm never gonna stop, regardless of who supported, regardless of who watched the views. I don't care if I get one view, 30 weeks straight. I promise I will still post every single Sunday. You will see my face, whether you like it or not. You're gonna see me a lot more on TikTok or any other social media site because I love what I'm doing and I know I'm doing the right thing. That's it. You're gonna see me. So get used to this face. You're gonna see me everywhere. And eventually, and I had that faith, eventually I'm gonna be so big when you see me on TV screens. That's my way that's my vision. That's what I'm taking. It's gonna be for something positive. It ain't gonna be for nothing negative. It's gonna be something that's leading our culture in the right direction. It's pointing us in the right direction, not as always being derogatory or looked at in a bad light. That's why I'm so passionate about these things that make us look or seem like we're in a bad light. Because I know that ain't us. That ain't all of us. That's not who we are. That's not who we can be. That culture of hypersexualization, gang violence, uh, all kind of competition, no collaboration. That's not us. That's just what we've been trained and conditioned to believe that was living. We've been trained and conditioned that doing these things, or what constitutes living, is the exact opposite. A lot of us are just simply dead inside spiritually, and we don't even know it. And it's especially with this hypersexualization, we just so sexed out. That's all we think about, and we think, especially I think we just gonna be able to, when we get older, we try to use an excuse that we're young and think when we get older we just gonna flip a switch and everything's just gonna be all right. This destroys your mental. It truly does. It destroys your mental. Watching pornography, sleeping with a whole bunch of people, it destroys you inside, and we don't really tap into it. We don't know it because of lack of information. What we put into our ears, it's all the wrong things. And it's all the other people, it's all the other people that think these things are okay as well, and they put it out there, and we just keep running this cycle, and it continues. It continues, it continues, it continues, and you land it on to your kids and their kids, and it'll never change. But somebody got to say something. Somebody got to put themselves in a bad light. Somebody got to acknowledge that a lot of the ways they're moving was wrong, and I'll be that person. And I'll truly be that person, because I don't mind. I don't mind being the being the what's the word? I don't mind being the one to take all the hits to help a whole bunch of other people. I'll do that 1,000 times over. And I hope with this episode, that's what a lot of people take from it. I hope when you listen to it, that you really truly understand and truly get something from it. Because I know a lot of young men deal with this as well, and a lot of them don't think it's wrong, but it is. It's wrong to be sleeping with every single woman or be sleeping with all these women, to not be able to be faithful to one girl, to not be able to build emotional bonds. It's a reason that a lot of these men are nonchalant, nonchalant, unemotional, can't have a conversation, can't express themselves. It's because they dead inside. All they know how to do is sleep with women. That's all they know how to do is have sex. We ain't taught nothing else. We don't push nothing else but sex, 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 and it's destroying us. And it's not just destroying you, destroying these women as well. Because when you do that, they think a lot of them start thinking all other men are the same, and then that destroys the family. And it's a cycle. It's a never ending cycle. That's why I'm putting myself in this light to help a whole bunch of other people, because I know they struggle with it as well. And maybe just one, and it's just one dude looking at it different. He start moving different. Start trying to get right with God. Start paying attention to his self-discipline. That'll help. That may help an entire family or generation. And that's enough for me, dog. That's enough for me. So to end this episode with me being as transparent as I could be, and really, like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna post this, but I hope you took from this that my main message that we all in this together, dog. We are a community of people. We all in this together. I love y'all. Some of y'all love me, and I want us to understand this is not no individual thing. This ain't no individual thing. This is, like I said, this is spirits against spirits. We got to come together as a people and acknowledge and hold ourselves accountable and hold ourselves to a different standard. Our standard that we hold ourselves to is so low. It's so low, and we got to elevate upon that. We got to elevate upon that. Thank you for watching.